I gotta talk about Doug Pederson, about his quote unquote saying it's never about one guy. It's never about one guy. Ever. As we all know, there's a coaching problem here. The coaching problem. Because when you see players go to other teams like Sidney Jones, like Rasul Douglas, like LJ Fort, like Steph Wisniewski, when you see these guys go to other teams and play well, you got to scratch your head and say, what's going on here? Okay? And Doug says, it's not all about one guy. We draft a tackle in Andre Dillard. We throw Jason Peters in front of him. We throw in front of him again. We throw in front of him again. We keep bringing Jason Peters back. It's so unfair. Okay, even though Andre... And you know what? They could blame themselves because Andre Dillard is probably going to be as bad as he could be. Probably a first-round bust at this. I don't even know at this point. No. But they should blame themselves for that. For putting Jason Peters in front of everybody. Jordan Mailata goes in there. Jason Peters gets here. Jordan Mailata goes in there and plays fantastic. Obviously, he's had some trouble with his hand placement, but some technical issues, okay, which is normal. Technical issues, which is fine, which is normal. And then Jason Peters gets healthy by the bye week. And look what happens. Jordan Mailata gets benched. It's not all about one guy. Always about one guy. It's always about the guy. It's always about these veterans over these young players. Okay? The only reason why you won a division last year with all these nobodies off the street was because you had nobody left to put into the game. Yeah, you've had nobody left to put into the game. They have tried their hardest to bring ex-players from the Super Bowl, just ex-players that have worked out in the system, like Jordan Matthews, like Timmy Jernigan, that pretty much... The guy literally got paid within 5 games in 17, and after he got his contract, he, disappeared. He didn't show up ever again after that. I think he had 1 sack maybe in 2 years after that. Okay? Jordan Mailata, that offensive line, I can't stand it. I said, if they bench Jordan Mailata, we're hitting the reset button. Pretty much. You put Jason Peters back there, you're hitting the reset button. And then what's going to happen is you're going to... You know what? If Doug, and I know Doug's getting fired. I'm telling you right now, if Doug was still here next year, I guarantee you Andre Dillard would just start over Jordan Mailata just because. Just because he's a first-round pick. Just because. I don't even know. Because Jason Peters, I'm hoping to God he doesn't come back next year. I'm just tired of it. I'm actually really tired of it. And the thing is, when your offensive line isn't playing together constantly all year, when there's constant changes, it's just, the chemistry is just bad. It's just been bad, okay? Nathan Gary, one of the worst coverage linebackers I've ever seen in my life. It's like Casey Matthews, and Casey Matthews was Clay Matthews' brother. We had Casey Matthews at linebacker, and that was in the Chip Kelly days, and that was horrible, okay? You have a third-round pick in Davion Taylor that's not looking great. Well, that's because the guy never even was tried in a game, and if you put him in 12, 11 weeks later... what do you expect him to look like? Something special? And then you have the audacity to be like, oh, he didn't play well, or, oh, yeah, he definitely didn't look good. Glad we didn't start him early in the year. The guy never even had a chance to even hit the field whatsoever. It's already enough. Weeks ago, your second-round pick wasn't playing, but your third round, and our quarterback was getting killed, and your third-round pick didn't even hit the field whatsoever in Davion Taylor. And I was very excited about that pick. Okay, Jalen Mills needs to go. Kavon Wallace needs to get into that lineup and start producing immediately. Okay, maybe not now, but stuff needs to happen. Jalen Mills can't play safety, can't play corner. When we switched him to corner, could not do anything. But guess what? They still keep him there. The guy has played so bad, they still keep him there. Kavon Wallace has got some snaps when they do some 3 safety sets. This is why Will Parks got released, and Will Parks was so excited to go back to Denver. Went back to Denver and we started doing this towards the Eagles as soon as he got there, because there was something wrong with this coaching staff. There was something wrong with how they did things over there. Even though Will Parks was hurt in training camp, he missed 6-7 weeks, but still, he was one of the most underrated guys. He was like the Malcolm Jenkins piece for this defense really needed. And Malcolm Jenkins was another. And weeks ahead, Malcolm Jenkins, that was a dumb move by the Eagles. Malcolm Jenkins had his press conference with, obviously the Saints media, and pretty much said he didn't feel valued as a player. He didn't feel valued. Did we think that, Malcolm was kind of, he was doing too much to the point where we didn't see him really producing that much. Maybe that was the case. Maybe that was the case. But when the only thing that really ripped me, that really upset me this past year was Malcolm Jenkins leaving the Eagles. I think that was the most, because when you saw the defense on the field, you knew Malcolm Jenkins took care of them. When you saw that defensive huddle, you knew that Malcolm Jenkins took care of this defense. You didn't have to worry about this defense being mentally prepared. You didn't have to worry about that. And I still, to this day, don't think that there's a mental leader on this defense, period. I don't. Rodney McLeod has actually had a pretty okay year, but on a really bad Eagles team this year. They brought back Jalen Mills on a 1 year because he said, I had some offers. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Stop. To be a starter, I doubt it. Okay? Rodney McLeod. Well, it was one of the best signings we had in 2006. Thought it was a fantastic sign. Paid him a lot of money. Okay? And him and Malcolm would be an ordeal 1-2 best safety tandem in the league. Okay, but it's not all about one guy. I don't know what they think. Ronald Darby. Look at Ronald Darby right now. He's ranked like one of the top corners this year. I mean, it's just insane that they need to clean house this coaching staff and change. They need to change their ways. In the words of the Mandalorian, this is not the way. Okay, this is not the way. Okay. So when I look at guys like this, it just gets me so mad that Doug talks about it's not all about one guy. And then Carson Wentz, like, this guy should have been benched after week 5 of the season at least. I'm not saying at that time I just want Hurts to get in for a game, at least for a half, a series. I didn't even care at the time. But now going down week 11, week 12, and now you're making the switch to a backup quarterback. Now, after all this time, you're fine. I don't care. I don't care what it's going to do to Carson Wentz. And to be honest with you, the more I think about this of benching Carson Wentz, the more I think about he's not going to be a Philadelphia Eagle next year. Got a feeling that there are two things that could happen with this. Either he's going to get traded. They're going to keep him healthy the rest of the year, bench him the rest of the year so he's healthy. There's no, he's worth a lot of money right now. He's holding a clipboard for $100 million right now. That's pretty much what he's doing. Why he's here. He's holding a clipboard for $100 million. It is what it is, But it's not about one guy. It's been about that guy. I swear, Jim Schwartz and Doug. They have literally supported players on this team that have had multiple bad games. I'm not talking about one pick. I'm not talking about one missed tackle. I'm talking about game-breaking, horrible errors in a game with Nate Gary and Carson Wentz. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Okay? Just ridiculous the way they have done this. So Doug has talked about it's not about one guy, but it has been about one guy. You've always put in your favorite guy. You've always put Jason Pierce in front of Andre Dillard. You've always kept Nathan Gary on the field. I mean, he had that Achilles injury. It's the only that Achilles little injury he has right now. That's the only reason why he's not playing right now, because of that injury he had. Other than that, that's it. And look what happens. Look what happens when you bench Nathan Gary. Alex Singleton has come up, and he looks like an actual gem. He actually looks like he knows how to play linebacker. He tackles everybody. He's all over the field. His pass coverage, not perfect, but damn, he could probably work on it a lot better. But Jesus, you haven't put Sean Bradley on the field. You barely put Davion Taylor on the field. I mean, Jatavis Brown retired, so we lost a linebacker in the process. And you let Nate Gary play. And you know what? Jim Schwartz was the Doug Pederson on defense, pretty much, defending Nate Gary every single week. Every week. And then he went on, you know what else I'm tired of? I'm tired of Jim Schwartz just always talking about, like, when he was talking about Aaron Rodgers at his press conference before the game, he was talking about Aaron Rodgers for like 20 minutes, how good he was. Who cares? Who cares? Worry about your defense. Your defense is obviously, this comes down to Howie Roseman at the end of the day. Obviously, building this whole entire offensive defense And this coaching staff, Doug cannot hire his coaching staff. With Marty, Rich Sangrell, all these offensive assistants he hasn't been working. But it's not about one guy. It's always about one. It's about one guy when it comes to himself. When it comes to Doug Pederson, it's all about Doug Pederson. It's all about, see, Doug will go into a game. Doug will actually go into a game. Doug will go into a game to run his offense. He's not scheming against a defense. It may look like it, but all Doug is doing is running his offense. All he's been doing is running his offense every week, which is not going to solve anything. I'm tired of the veteran favoritism. Where's Quez Watkins? Why is Alshon Jeffrey taking snaps for Travis Fulgham? And Travis Fulgham dropped the pass from Jalen Hurts last week. How can I be mad at him? The guy's barely getting into games. How can I get mad? The guy was leading the... And then Doug has the audacity to say, oh, well, everyone's figured out Travis Fulgham. He needs to be more of an elite receiver. He knows he's going to be facing better talent. Don't start blaming Travis Fulgham. Like, look, there's maybe a little bit of blame on him, but not that much. You're the one that's barely putting him in. Alshon Jeffrey, get your butt out of here. I'm tired of him. He's such a wash-up. He's such a disgrace. He had an OPI call on an open pass. He can't even get open at this point. And then you can say, oh, the last game before this game, he was open downfield, but Wentz didn't see him. And that was true. He actually was open, but would he caught it? I don't know. But where's it? He's caught 2 passes. I mean, it's just a joke. $54 million guaranteed, and he's a $16 million cap hit this year. It's a total disgraceful joke. Quez Watkins, John Hightower was getting all these deep balls. He was doing, and then all of a sudden, Alshon, as soon as I'm tired of this Super Bowl talk. I'm tired of 17. I'm tired of even thinking about it. And all these guys come back and they're just taken out of the game. I can't stand it. I just can't stand it. Can't stand it at all. So, all about one guy. Yeah, it is. It's about one guy, all right. Okay. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. You know, Doug has always made it about one guy, always. And when he says it's not about one guy, oh, it is, because I've pretty much given every example about how it's always been about one guy. Whether it's one guy that you always bring back, you always play in the game, no matter how many times they mess up in a game, you're still going to just choose them over anybody else that wants and deserves a shot. Period. So, other than that, that's it. See you guys later. Kicks what up, Fly. Peace out, guys. Peace.